What a friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer. Oh, what peace we often forfeit. Oh, what needless pain we bear. All because we do not carry everything to God in prayer. Happy trials and temptations. Is there trouble anywhere? We should never be discouraged. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Can we find a friend so faithful who will all our sorrows share? Jesus knows our every weakness. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Are we weak and heavy laden? Come but with a load of care. Precious Savior, still our refuge. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Do your friends despise, forsake you? Take it to gonna run to? Oh, sinner man, where you gonna run to? Oh, sinner man, where you gonna run to? All on that day. Run to the rock, rock, won't you hide me? Run to the rock, rock, won't you hide me? Run to the rock, rock, won't you hide me? All on that day. Run to the sea, sea, won't you hide me? Run to the sea, sea, won't you hide me? Run to the sea, sea, won't you hide me? All on that day. Lord, said sinner man, the sea will be a boiling. Lord, said sinner man, the moon will be a bleeding. Lord, said sinner man, the stars will be a freezing. All on that day. Should have been a praying, Lord, said sinner man. Should have been a praying, Lord, said sinner man. You should have been a praying. All on that day. Oh, sinner man, where you gonna run to? Oh, sinner man, where you gonna run to? Sinner man, where you gonna run to? All on that day. Run to the rocks, run to the stars, run to the sea.
Evening. It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday. Crowd shuffles in. There's an old man, he's sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He said, son, can you play me a memory? I'm pretty sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La 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 la, la 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 la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody. You've got us feeling all right. drinks for free. And he's quick with a joke, he'll light up his smoke, but there's some place that he'd rather be. Oh, he said, John, I believe this is killing me. As a smile ran away from his face. Oh, I know I could be a big movie star if I could get out of this place. La 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 la. La 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 la. Sing us a song, the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody. You've got us feeling all right. Now Paul, he's a real estate novelist. Never had time for a wife. And he's talking with David, who's still in the Navy, and probably will be for life. Oh, and the waitress is practicing politics as the businessman slowly gets stoned. Well, they're sharing a drink they call loneliness, but it's better than drinking alone. La 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 la. La 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 la. Sing us a song, you the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we were all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. It's a pretty good crowd for a Sunday.
Very nice.
He's not that nice.
Little tinkle.
It's just an E minor ninth chord.
I knew that.
E minor 7 plus 9. That's what it is. There it is. So you got E. And there's the interesting note.
Absolutely.
Right. And that makes it E not 7 plus 9. And then what?
Nothing.
I'm just giving you a little music
I
lesson.
know,
'cause
no,
you
and they're
know,
all enjoying it.
they're
They're all
not, are they?
clapping their hands.
They're going,
Yay!
they're
He's
off
too good
getting a
at
cup of
this.
tea, pouring a gin, doing whatever they do, but they're not really interested. And
Eating
we've got
their
one of the
ice
most
creams.
extraordinary guests here again with you, Mr. Chris Winn. Give us say hello, Christopher.
Hello.
There he is.
Back by absolutely no popular demand.
Well, I couldn't think of anybody else. And so it came down to you, or it was either that or Steve Martin, as I said to you earlier. And Steve wasn't available. His banjo was otherwise occupied. So here you are, Chris. It's nice to welcome you back.
It's good to be here.
And the manager, she gives me a smile. Do you like this song, by the way? Are you into Piano Man, or is that Billy Joel's not your thing?
Oh no, I love Billy Joel and Piano Man.
What's your favourite song?
Can I just point out that we can't put Chris on camera at the moment?
Oh,
Because
no,
we
you
checked
can't, because you've got it here, haven't you? Right.
Voice is off.
Voice is off, yes.
That's why I didn't want this one, but never mind. Doesn't matter.
Test card
And
number
the
one.
manager, she gives me a smile. We'll talk in a second, because she knows that it's me they've been coming to see, to forget about life.
For a while.
I thank you, by the way, for reminding me that this camera wasn't there, because that's when the last time I was here, that's how I left it. A while. Oh, yeah. The piano, it sounds like a carnival, and the microphone, it smells like a beer, and they sit at the bar and put bread in my jar and say, man, what are you doing here? Not you, Chris. La la la, la la, not what are you doing here? What am I doing here? La la la, la la la, I know what you're doing here. You're saving me singing for an hour. Sing us a song, can't even find it. Oh, why don't you swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride? Why don't you swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride? Rock me, Lord, calm and easy. I got a home on the other side. Swing, 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 swing. Oh, why don't you swing, 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 swing? Well, Ezekiel went down in the middle of a field. He saw an angel working on a chariot wheel. He wasn't so particular about the chariot wheel. You just wanted to see how a chariot feels. Why don't you swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride? Why don't you swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride? Rock me, Lord, calm and easy. I got a home on the other side. Swing, 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 swing. Oh, why don't you swing, 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 swing? Well, Ezekiel went down and he got on board. The chariot went a-bumping on right down the road. Now see what's so particular about the bumping on the road. He just wanted to lay down his heavy load. Why don't you swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride? Why don't you swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride? Rock me, Lord, calm and easy. I got a home on the other side. Come on now, come on, play the bar. Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Why don't you swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride? Rock me, Lord, calm and easy. Oh, I got a home on the other side. Why don't you swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride? Why don't you swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride? Rock me, Lord, calm and easy. I got a home. I got a home on the other side. I've got a home, like he says. I got a home on the other side. I got a home. I got a home on the other side. I got a home on the other side. Oh, yeah.
Wow, that was fun. Bit of a workout for you and
Even-
for Rachel.
Yeah, how did she look? How was it?
Yeah, it was a bit confused at times, but that's fine.
A bit
It's fine.
confused.
Owen said you weren't following a little red light on the camera, but we don't have one of those yet.
No.
So.
Now let's talk about the little red light on the
No,
camera.
let's
shall-
not.
No,
Let's not.
let's.
Can I just say?
So anyway, so what we got? So we do have two little red lights on the camera, but we've had them for years.
We don't
but
work
they
properly
never
yet.
work.
Not yet.
And
Not
so-
yet.
so
Rachel is determined.
Rachel is determined to get them working.
To get them working.
So we'll have red lights as you once had in thingy. Now, can we do a song at the same time? Can you shift it onto, please?
I can.
As we're doing this song. Now, I would like to do this song, which is a really beautiful song, actually. Misty, this one. And it's one of my fab fave songs, recorded on Lockdown Sessions 2. And it goes like this. Look at me. I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree. And I feel like I'm clinging to a cloud. I can't understand. I get misty just holding your hand. Walk my way, and 1,000 violins begin to play, or it might be the sound of your hello, that music I hear, I get misty whenever you're near. Don't you know that you're leading me on? But it's just what I want you to do. Can't you see that I'm hopelessly lost? That's why I'm following you. On my own, when I wander through this wonderland alone, never knowing my right foot from my left, my hand from my glove. I get misty, too much in love. Ben Castle on saxophone, thrilling us all tonight. Just relax. Here we go. Don't you know that you're leading me on? But it's just what I want you to do. Can't you see that I'm hopelessly lost? That's why I'm following you. On my own, when I wander through this wonderland alone, never knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove. I'm too misty and too much in love. I'm too misty. I'm too misty. I'm too misty and too much in love. Thank you very much.
Well, rather beautiful. Rather beautiful.
Did you enjoy that?
I did enjoy that, actually. It was
Very much.
beautiful. Very
Mr.
nice.
Chris Winn, welcome to JV Live from the Steinway Room. You are the first guest we've had in since Christmas.
Since this year, actually.
Since year, because we had
There
about
he is.
50.
Look at him
there
on
he
the
is.
screen.
Well, what a spectacular start for you.
Yeah, but
It can only go down.
It can
from
only
here.
go
Only
down.
go down for the rest of the year. From here.
we've got agreement for. I've got a guy who's coming in. Hopefully, he's going to. I'm going to chat to him this week and see what he can do for us. But a guy called Justin Braley. Now, Justin has been doing something called Unbelievable, which is a radio program and various other things, and writing books and speaking to the historian Tom Holland about
faith.
about faith and the surprising resurgence of faith. Not as it would be seen in the Anglican Church, it seems, but in general. But specifically, I know in your churches you've got whatever you've got. But so he's going to be coming in, and that will be an interesting one to listen to, actually, because he is fascinating. He's He's an intellectual and a very bright man, but a lovely chap.
But here we have another bright man.
Another bright man
And
talking about it.
An erudite chap.
An erudite and,
Charming
and
chap.
extraordinarily experienced in life, aren't you? Life, and what an author. But published author of how many books?
I think I've done 22 now.
That's just
And can I
showing
just
that-
ask, how many have you done, Jonathan?
All right, Sue. Calm down.
We
We were
will
talking
do
about it
number
this
three.
morning.
We will do number three, I promise
look,
you.
It
We
started.
will.
I've got.
He's got the opening
first,
page.
But
And
no,
only another-
I've got the opening 6 minutes, which is about how much is that? 6 minutes is
page.
about 3 pages.
Something like that. But I mean, yours are quality, pure quality. Mine are quantity.
No, I think actually, actually, I find that my books, people find my books engaging for different reasons. Yours are books of mini stories. I find mine is a massive story, a long story, and a series of stories all tied together to make one thing. But I suppose actually that's effectively what your books. The most famous of your books has become, and the best-selling ones were I Didn't Know That About.
I never knew that about
I never knew
England,
that about, sorry.
and I never knew that about London. Are the
Keep going.
ones that have sold the most?
Sorry,
the
which
one-
was the other
London.
one?
Yeah,
London
and England.
England.
And New York's done quite well.
Oh,
And
right.
the River Thames, funnily enough, has done very well.
yes.
Oh, you
We like
did?
that
You
one.
went to New York?
Yeah, went to New York.
Wow, that must have taken. How long was that to?
We went over there for a month. We were put up in an apartment of a friend of ours, which was wonderful, right in the middle, and we just walked through the whole of Manhattan. So this was just
From
Manhattan.
all the way down to 50.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
100.
We started at the bottom, and of course Manhattan grew up either side of Broadway as it went north. So it was very easy to do. The history went with.
So how did that? So I was in. I went across there to do an opera with Glyndebourne years ago, and I found it deeply disturbing as a city. I mean,
Well, when did you go?
before the towers were knocked down.
Right, because I mean it went
Not
through
long,
a bad.
about 2 years before.
It went through a bad time in the sort of 70s and 80s, and then it was cleaned. And when we were there,
yeah.
which was about 2010, it was wonderful. You could walk anywhere at night. You could go through Central Park. You could
Really?
Yep. You could walk through Harlem. You could walk through anywhere. It was absolutely gorgeous. I believe it's got a bit rough again now.
So I seem to remember it changed when Giuliani, the much disgraced, maligned
Indeed.
supporter of Donald Trump, that
Yes,
one,
his
the
zero tolerance. I
zero
think.
tolerance. That's what
right.
it was, wasn't it?
That cleared it up
And it did
immensely,
work.
and it worked. It worked. You know, if you punish somebody for breaking a window, then it stops people doing worse
Escalating.
crimes and
Yeah.
escalating. Yeah, and it did work. And I must say, I found it the most fascinating, exciting city. Really is. I mean, the only city I can compare it to is London.
What excitement levels?
The excitement levels and just
What you can do?
what you can do. Yeah. Tremendously exciting, and I really enjoyed doing that. I'd love to do more cities actually, but I'd like to do Hollywood. I'd like to do
would you?
Rome. I'd love to do Hollywood. Yes, I know lots of stories about Hollywood, which I think will make a terrific book. So that's
What
on the back burner.
about what about you said about Rome? My son's just come
Oh,
back
I'd
from
love
there.
to do
I
Rome,
loved
yes.
Rome, but it's an odd city again, isn't
It's a
it?
very odd city, but it's sort of the original city, isn't it?
Yes,
It's,
yeah,
it's where
yes, yes,
everything comes from. And I just found it utterly fascinating, and the Vatican, and I just loved it. So
So when you're writing books about places, so for example, with I Didn't Know That About the Thames, which I loved that book because we kept locating stuff on it that we knew. And I think, has anybody out there, could you write in if you've got one of Chris's books?
Yeah, well, Jerry was just saying he bought just this week about Wales.
oh, thank you, Jerry.
Well done, Jerry.
yes,
That's another £3 in your pocket.
£3.
That's
I can
brilliant.
survive for another couple of
Yes.
weeks.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Ireland. I think Lee said that she bought the Irish one.
Oh, well, of course,
Okay.
Ireland is very appetite today,
It
isn't it?
is.
St.
It
It is, and
Patrick's
we're going
Day.
to
It
sing.
is, yes.
We're going to sing Danny Boy in a minute.
Yes,
actually,
thank you, George Rogers. It was already planned, but yes,
George and
George said, could we
Jerry
have it?
and
Yes.
Martin Nordell is
Yes.
out there listening today,
Yeah.
and it said it's his family's favourite
Oh,
funeral
really?
song. You know,
Oh,
so
right,
I don't know.
okay.
Is Nordell? Is that an Irish name?
don't know.
If you're listening, Martin, could you
Just
write
let
in?
us know. Just write in and let
Write
us
in.
know.
And those of you with an Irish connection today, I'd like you to write in because I think actually it's very relevant. St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And happy Six Nations win, of course, again.
Yes,
And
Grand
absolutely, and we came third. I mean, what's going on? And Wales.
Oh,
Poor
dear.
old Wales,
I'm sorry,
yes.
Gareth. I'm really sorry.
Can we just have? I think the one.
Number 5, Rachel.
hold on. Yeah, number 5, please, Rachel. This is for Gareth and all those. This isn't. I'm going to play the. This is for the Welsh because I think it's important as we celebrate the success of one, the failure of another. What do you think? And can we send Gareth our absolute and heartfelt sympathies at this very difficult moment for you?
They'll come back. They'll
to
come
make
back.
you feel good, and it goes like this.
Guide me, oh, how great Jehovah, pilgrim through this barren land. I am weak, but you are mighty. Hold me with your powerful hand. Bread of heaven, bread of heaven, feed me now and evermore. Feed me now and evermore. Open now the crystal fountain where the healing waters flow. Let the fire and cloudy pillar lead me on my journey through. Strong deliverer, ever be my strength and shield, ever be my strength and when I tread the verge of Jordan, bid my anxious fears subside. Death of death and hell's destruction, lead me safe on Canaan's side. Songs of praises, I will ever sing to you. I will ever sing to
And that's for all my Welsh friends. I
Gareth
don't have many of them.
Gareth says, thanks, JV. Of course, Wales is a second half team, so by about 2051, we should be back at full strength. He said, I don't know whether to thank you or to be grateful or to roll my eyes at you.
Well, the poor Welsh have lost all their greats, haven't they?
They
JPR
have,
Williams
they
this year. And,
Yeah.
I know.
Bad
Do we
year.
have to wait another 30 years for a great Welsh revival? I think actually, I have a friend, Steve, who comes from Llanelli, and he spent all his childhood, he's the same, more or less the same age as me, as us, and he just went, I lived through, some of the best times, and he said, I was there in Llanelli, watching the match, and watching GPR and all the others, and then he said we won a few, and then I spent the last 3 decades. Where's GPR?
No, they've been playing well
Anyway,
at times.
that's beside the point. It said now that's the Welsh. That's the Welsh. I'm not going to sing Rose of Scotland because that they got the wooden spoon, and that's, you see, to me. Here we go. This is the point about games. It always makes me laugh. People say, "Oh, they talk about this and it's awful and this." It's a game. They lost, and another day they'll win. That's the way it works. I'm afraid that, you know.
My grandfather was going to play for Scotland. He was all lined up in the team to play for Scotland. He dislocated his shoulder.
No!
Do you know why he dislocated his shoulder?
Because he didn't want to play for Scotland.
Because he put my mum over his lap and was beating her for doing something wrong. Put his shoulder out. Yeah, that's what they did in those days.
Oh, dear.
But it wasn't. No, it wasn't. That makes it sound far worse than it was. You know, I think he was just
Playful.
It was
A playful
It was a bit more
smack on the
disciplined
bum.
in those days.
My goodness.
But he always said that whenever they scored a try in those days, you'd creep back to the centre, hanging your head in shame, because you weren't supposed to show triumphalism or anything like that.
Really?
In those days, yes, it was not done to celebrate.
So, because it would be Hampden Park, wouldn't it? When
Yeah.
he would have been playing.
Yeah, so as I say, they used to walk back slowly, hanging their heads in shame.
So
Sort of-
just
sorry,
hold on.
Jack.
Just hold on a second. I'm just asking you a question, and your grandfather nearly played for Scotland. You know, that was a major thing. I mean, it was an amateur game, yes, but
Yeah, no, he was a terrific rugby player. He was a captain in the Navy.
oh, was that it? Oh, right. So he's a captain in what? In a clipper? In what was he?
No, he commanded an aircraft carrier in the Norwegian fjords during the Second World War.
Can I just say?
He was a wonderful guy.
Stop a
We
minute.
called him
Stop.
Poop
This
Deck.
is why we love
This
having
is
Chris
why
on.
you come on to the show. All right. So that I literally, I just happened to say something about rugby, and suddenly your grandfather's a captain of an aircraft carrier. In the
I think it was Implacable. I should know the name, but in the Second World War, I've got
That's a
pictures at
major
home
thing.
of his aircraft carrier being bombed in a Norwegian fjord. Sort of plumes of spray.
Spoons of-
even flumes of
even though
Spoons of flame.
one of those.
You've got
So
me confused
actually, did he survive the war?
Oh yes, yeah, no, he was a wonderful guy. We called him Poop Deck, and he was just the best grandfather you could possibly have. He was
I'm
wonderful.
going to enjoy this 2 hours. I tell you, this is going to be. You know, I started out this evening. I thought I don't want to do this. You know, and then you come in. You have a hot cross bun with me. Rachel refused the hot cross bun.
Well, that's it.
I don't know why. She said it's too spicy. Yeah, Sue, you had another one, just so that you know.
I know, I did it. I put
weren't
it in
supposed
the
to tell her that.
No.
You did another one?
Oh yeah. Yeah. You
So he's eaten all my hot cross
Our
buns.
lunch for tomorrow. It's all gone to.
And can I just say, was it David Hicks brought those round?
Was it?
I don't know. I didn't buy them.
Well, I didn't buy them
David, did you bring them round?
Yeah,
Did you bring them round yesterday when you were sorting out our Wi-Fi?
because I did
Because
some for you. 'Cause
suddenly this pack of 6 arrived, and I didn't buy them.
well, I didn't buy them
So
either.
David
So
was
there you go.
brought them
Well,
round.
none
So you
left
did. Thank you
There's a
very much.
secret- there's a
Chris Wins
secret,
thoroughly enjoyed them.
Hot cross buns and
I really
buyer.
enjoyed them. Thank you.
Oh, wait.
Thank you.
So there's your grandfather. He's going to play for Scotland, and he dislocates his shoulder, giving a playful tap on the bottom to your grandmother. And I think actually
my mum.
already,
To
your
my
mother,
mum,
her mother.
yeah.
So
Who absolutely
already
adored
social
him.
services are being called as we speak.
I know. Well,
Um,
those days, you know, we were much tougher in those days.
Come on,
my
put your
mum
point-
absolutely adored him.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yes. They were a very close family. And,
Hey, so, but
he
you
was a
called him
wonderful
Poop
guy.
Deck.
Poop
I
Deck.
do. It does make me laugh. That was very funny. Yeah, that's so. Now we're going to move on to another country. We're going to move on to Ireland. Now you've done a whole book on. I didn't know that about Ireland.
I never knew that about Ireland,
Never knew.
and I never
keep
knew that
I
about,
keep changing the title, but I never knew that about. Sorry.
and I never knew that about the Irish too.
Oh, you've done 2 books.
2 books on Ireland. Yep.
Right. Okay. Tell us before we dedicate this song to all these people that want it tonight. And I dedicated it to myself as well because my great grandmother was Irish, a Murphy from Dublin, it seems. And which you didn't know, did you?
I didn't know that.
I mean, one look at me, you should see Irish straight away.
Absolutely.
Identify it immediately because when I go over there, I always feel very Irish. I slip right into it if I'm in Northern Ireland. I just love talking to them and having a wee chat with an Ulster over an Ulster fry. I do indeed. And I bet you don't you get yourself beaten up for that, wouldn't you? But
yes, you would.
yeah, but no, I don't. I always do it so genuinely that they think I'm from there. You see, I was born there.
You almost were.
It's all I nearly was. Anyway, so I didn't know about Ireland. What don't we know?
Oh, just about everything you don't know about Ireland. Lots of inventions. Submarine was invented by an Irishman, a chap called Holland. Invented the submarine, which the American Navy used.
Did he mean to invent the submarine?
He did mean. He did.
Racist. That is definitely.
I was not going to tell the joke about the Irish submarine, but
Go on. You're allowed. I don't care. What's the worst thing?
No, I'm not. Absolutely not going to tell you that. But and they invented the torpedo. Chap called Brennan. Lots of inventions they did.
They happened to invent. Hold on, let's just get this right. They happened to invent the submarine and the torpedo, not at the same time, not on a phone over a phone. Hey, tell me, Brendan, what are you doing Saturday? Well, I thought I'd invent the submarine. It's funny because I've already invented the torpedo that comes from the. Can you see how that works?
Yes.
That must have been over a Guinness.
It must have been over a Guinness. Well, that's what happens in Ireland, isn't it?
It does.
Everything gets done over a Guinness.
It does.
All the best things get done over a Guinness.
Well, what a taste. I loved Guinness, I have to say. Do you like it over there?
Guinness in Ireland is completely different.
It is. The waters.
Guinness. Yeah. Now, I remember the first time I went to Dublin, we got taken to a pub and had Guinness and steak pie.
Oh, yes.
That's
lovely.
Absolutely gorgeous.
So he invents the torpedo. So you got the submarine, the torpedo. What other stuff?
Oh, well, just... it's such a beautiful country, apart from anything else.
Yes,
it
is.
I had the best sea swim I've ever had on the coast of Galway, in this beautiful turquoise sea with the mountains in the background. It was warm. It was gorgeous. There was nobody around.
It was warm.
It was warm. Well, of course, they get the Gulf Stream, don't they?
They do, don't they? The West Coast, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It's beautiful over there, isn't it?
So it really
County
is.
Wexford, County Galway. Do you remember, Sue?
I
do. You remember when we went to... Are you on screen?
Yeah, she puts me up every now and then.
Right, well, here we are. Do you remember we went to Wexford?
Oh, of course I remember.
What do you remember about Wexford?
I remember it being a lovely place, but I remember the Opera House being the most inconspicuous opera house in the world.
It was like two houses.
We were walking down the
together.
road and he said, "Here's the Opera House." And I said, "What is?" And it was just a string of fairy lights across the front of a grey building. And that was it.
And we thought actually it was two, you thought it looked like two houses.
It was like two houses. But actually, as you went in, it was the Opera House.
But it was a terraced, it was a group of terraced houses. Have you been to Wexford? Did you go to County Wexford?
I've been through it. We didn't spend very long there, yes.
Well, that's where this famous opera festival
Right.
started. Bernard Levin, all very famous. That's where I started my career.
Really?
Yeah. It was the beginning of my life as an opera singer, which is now, I'm so glad that I started it now instead of, then instead of now. Now, as and more, I've just read an article about opera being the worst thing ever. And it's what is one person in the Arts Council of Great Britain said, "Oh, we don't like it because all of the most of the people that they're singing about, they've been written by people over 100 years old. What good is that?" Quote. Yeah. Those are the people who are running the Arts Council. So, but we started there. I started there singing in the chorus, and I remember doing the small part I had, which was "Haben die Ratshand den Spruche lassen, nicht Bürger, nicht Bauer, die Spruche latte, That was it. That was my beginning as an opera singer.
Gosh.
And I stood there with
such small beginnings
with Brindley Sherritt. And he went on to be a massive star. Great bass voice.
As did you.
As did I. And it was from that humble beginning, and a lady called Elaine Padmore spotted me there. But when I went there in 1985, yes it was, 5, yeah, it was 84, 85, one of those. And the first year I went, because then I went after that, 85, they were still bringing stuff in by horse and cart.
Really?
When I went back, EU money gave them an extraordinary amount of money, and it was a transformed town. Never saw anything like it. But when I went there,
I mean, the whole of Ireland
has grown.
Is just beautiful, and there's so many different aspects of it. I mean, that north coast, going around the north coast.
Oh,
It was like going around
North Antrim coast.
the Mediterranean.
Oh, the
I mean, it
drive.
was just
Yeah.
stunning.
Along the Antrim coast. Yes,
Yeah.
it's
It
one
was
of the
just
great
beautiful.
drives of Europe.
Of Europe, yeah. It is, isn't it?
Cushendale and Cushendale.
Oh, yeah, and all the glens.
and the
Then the Giant's Causeway.
Giant Causeway and the
Yes.
Bushmills Distillery.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Well,
Bushmills.
we
Oldest
stayed,
distillery.
we
Stayed
stayed
at
right there.
Bushmills.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh,
Not
have a
in the
friend.
distillery, but
We-
the
I'm
bit
not in the
nearby.
Oh, a bit of Blackbush after this will go down nicely.
Yeah, very famous.
I should have had it
whiskey.
before, actually.
Yes.
But that's another discussion about alcohol. We'll talk about
yes.
that another time. But and then going up through Donegal up the top.
Oh, yes, Donegal.
Crossing over the border and back. Those 6 counties of Northern Ireland, so fascinating.
So is Chris going to give us something that
Yeah.
we didn't know about?
Yeah, something we didn't know. Can you think of
So
something we
you
really
see,
didn't?
you ask me questions like that. If I tell you that, nobody's going to go and buy the book, are they?
Oh,
well,
no,
just
no,
give
give
us
us a
one.
taster.
Give us a taster.
Now you've made me think. Sing a song or something while I think
Yes,
of the story.
Okay, why
I
don't
will.
you sing Danny Boy?
Well, what I'm going to do is Danny Boy. You can tell us a little bit about Danny Boy. Just tell us what you know about Danny Boy.
Danny Boy was actually written by an English lawyer, but he sent it to his sister-in-law, who was Irish, who was married to his brother, and she put it to the London Derriere because she thought that it was such wonderful lyrics. And people think it was written about a parent whose son was going off to war.
Yes.
And it's used a lot at funerals. But for some reason, you're not allowed to use it in a Catholic mass.
No, and if anybody can, Jerry actually works at a Catholic church.
Oh, right.
So he's retiring soon, but Jerry, if you can write in and tell us why we can't sing Danny Boy at a Catholic mass, we would be grateful. But being recorded by so many people, it was at John McCain's funeral in 2018, I think it was. A lot of us have recorded it, but it's not sung. It is quite a song of Irish longing, really, for those in the Irish diaspora around the world. And when you sing Danny Boy, they have thoughts of home. I think that's a lot of it. And it was obviously, you can see, because it was written as an Irish Catholic. You'll come and find the place where I'm lying and kneel and say an Ave there for me, Ave Maria. Mm-hmm. It's a song of deep sorrow as well as beauty. I always find it. So let's see whether I can.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone, and all the roses fading. It's you must go, and I must bide. But come back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. That I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so. But when he comes, and all the flowers
if I am dead, as dead I well may be, you'll come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say an Ave for me, and I shall hear the soft tread above me, and all my grave will warmer, sweeter be, for you will mend and tell me that you love me, and I shall sleep in peace until you come to
That was rather lovely.
That is beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful.
I like that one.
Yes,
No,
that was lovely. It's a nice
and that was
version.
also for Sue, whose mother. I always sing it for her mother, don't I?
You do. I am a little bit Irish. This is true.
Sorry?
Me. I have a little
Hold
tad
on.
Irish in me.
Hold on. Sorry. 41 years later, you now
It's
reveal
not
in the
very
room
much.
because
It's not
actually
very
he's
much.
got some antecedents
No, it's not
somewhere,
very
do you?
much. It's
I
just
don't
a
have any
snip.
Irish.
Oh,
I
you
have a
should-
Welsh grandmother,
Oh, have you? Well,
a Scottish
Welsh?
grandfather,
My goodness. But no Irish.
but no Irish that I know of.
Oh, well. I'm sure there's somewhere in there. You know, they popped across, probably.
Absolutely.
In the days when actually you could walk from
Well,
Ireland
did you
to,
know
to Scotland.
that the original Scots were the Irish, because the Irish came across and invaded, well, not invaded, but occupied southwest Scotland.
They didn't really.
They
Nobody
didn't.
had to invade.
They
Scotland.
didn't invade,
They just
no.
walked in, didn't they?
They just
You're
sort of
right.
walked in.
Aye, I'm
Yeah.
fine. Come on,
Southwest
you know.
Scotland, and the Romans called them Scotii, meaning foreigner.
Is
So
that right?
that's where Scotland comes from. Yeah, and it was originally the Irish. So the Scots then went back during the plantations in the 16th, 17th century, whatever. So they've been coming and going between Ireland and Scotland for
So they went back.
generations.
They went
Well,
back.
no, if you think about it, the Scots, James I, invited a lot of Scots to go to Northern Ireland, what is now Northern Ireland, Ulster. There's sort of
Buffalo Bulge and
plantations.
all that.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. So
Orange men,
the Scots
that's-
and the Irish have been intermingling for many
years.
generations and generations.
Well, isn't there the tradition? I mean, held about Giant's Causeway that that the whole point of it, that these hexagonal stones, that it was a link between Scotland and Ireland.
very
that
much
once
so.
was there. I mean,
That's
am
right.
I wrong there?
No, you're absolutely right. That's one of the theories. Yeah, it was supposed to be a giant had thrown was making himself a causeway between Scotland and
Yeah.
Ireland.
Now let's get
And of
real.
course, Rathlin Island and things in between was sort of halfway point,
Oh,
where Robert the Bruce saw the spider going backwards and forth. He was hiding in a cave on Rathlin
I'm enjoying
Island.
this already. So, right, because this is already... So Rathlin Island, I didn't know that one. Did you know that one?
Fascinating snippets along
So
the way.
Rathlin Island is in between...
It's in between. It's off the Northern Irish coast, on the way to Scotland.
Okay. Is
and-
it inhabited? Is that it inhabited now? or
No,
not?
it's not now. I don't think.
But
no,
Robert the Bruce.
Robert the Bruce, when he was hiding away, he was hiding in a cave on Rathlin Island. That's where he saw the spider swinging backwards and
back and
forwards.
forwards, okay,
Yeah,
to
and
try and
say,
try
try and try again. Exactly. So,
Gosh, you see, this is... It's like having a kind of walking encyclopedia in here. And
Well, you maybe start thinking now, and that's fatal.
Well, no.
That's fatal.
no, that's right. That's what I want. I want this.
And I have
St.
to
Patrick's Day.
have to get it out when I can still remember it.
Get it out there. Get it out there. What about St. Patrick? Because didn't St. Patrick? I understood that St. Patrick, when we were up in Wales, St. Patrick crossed over to Wales. I think into the Black Mountain area. Wasn't that right, Sue? It wasn't when we were when we were on their driving tour last year. Remember, this was meant to be a landing spot for St. Patrick.
Yes, at St. David's.
Ah.
Well, St. Patrick. Well, Patrick is thought to have been a Scotsman who was kidnapped by Irish pirates. He lived by the Clyde River. Just trying to think of the name of the place up there, where he was supposed to be a shepherd there, and he was kidnapped.
Why?
Along with a lot of other people. They used to do that in those days. Pirates we had Barbary pirates used to come to Cornwall and Devon and kidnap people and take them back. The Irish, I think, came and kidnapped Patrick and took him back to Ireland, and there he became a shepherd, didn't he? On the Slemish, I think, is the mountain where he was a shepherd, and then that's where he sort of.
I love people like you.
Sounds feasible.
But there are lots of places. There's a place up near Liverpool where he was supposed to have landed as well, or taken off for Ireland. So nobody really knows.
Nobody knows what was what.
Yeah, but
So I mean, can I just ask you one question, which is that you have this love. Look at that, it's 10 to 9.
How does that happen?
How does that happen? We're already there at 10 to 9. And I can't, we've not even done anything. I've only begun. This love of what might be described as useless facts.
the more useless, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I don't know. It's just the fascination of a fact, rather than, but because also the discovery of a fact usually leads you on to other facts and things, and then it becomes a narrative and it becomes a story. But I just love. I used to have I've probably told this story before, but my first car was an old Morris Minor, one of those with
I know the ones.
Yeah,
They're great cars.
They were wonderful cars, but it kept breaking down. It kept overheating, so I couldn't really go on a motorway. So I used to drive through all the country lanes, and when it overheated, I'd stop and let it cool down. Yeah. And while I was waiting for an hour, half an hour, whatever it was, I'd just wander around and say, I wonder who lives there, or what happened behind that hedge, or what happened here, and then you discover the most amazing things. I mean, the most bizarre, ordinary places can have fantastic stories behind them if you delve underneath and find out about them.
I think that feels, when we travel, I always say to Sue, don't I, just go back on camera, I always say to you when we're driving somewhere.
You do.
I say to you,
yes.
I see a house, up on the big house on the left, it's obviously a stately home or something, and I say, give me the history of that. And Sue creates this story about who lived there, when they were born there, what they did for a living, how they made their money, and how they created something. And do you know what? That story, which is told and retold anyway in English history, and it's going to be told in Irish history. I remember going to, when I was in Northern Ireland, I went to a stately home called Greystoke Village in Northern Ireland. And it was by William, he's been there for 500 years. And he's held the seat, the family seat there. It's 450 acres of...
Do you mean Grey Abbey?
Grey Abbey?
Yeah, I know Grey Abbey.
We
stayed there, yeah.
Right. Well, when you were doing when we were doing
actually when we were doing our tour, yes.
Which I'll find out about. Yeah. But I went there with I was invited to lunch, just myself, and Lord and Lady Guinness of the Guinness family from Dublin. Right? They were, and then they came and had luncheon. He said, come into the main gates and keep driving. And he said, and as I came in, the three massive dogs came attacking the car, and he called them Wilf, Bob, Sonny, down. And I walked nervously into this massive house, and we had, they gave us a very simple 8-course luncheon, as they described it. He said, because mainly the staff are off today, only have a couple of staff on. So we did that, and we talked about politics, the Northern Ireland politics, all that kind of thing, opera, da-da-da-da. And he said, his wife said, and now you can come and play the piano. And off I went to the box piano. She said, it's been in here since 1742. And it's played, and she said, now I'm going to give you the music. She said, and you can play for me to sing. Said the lady, this is, honestly. And after about an hour of doing that and me singing a few songs to them, they said, you'll probably find your way out now. That was it. I was gone. End of.
Yes, they do.
But it was that story alone in that house. He started telling me the history of it and the hunting rights and all of that kind of stuff. And we ate the venison from the
That's
land.
right, yeah.
It was all that kind of thing. But this is what fascinates me about England, is that there are loads of them. Sorry, somebody's writing in. Give us some, come on. Sue on camera, please.
Can I just say that there's various people writing in, giving us hints and tips about St Patrick. So we've had that he left Ireland after having been enslaved, then came back as a missionary to the place where he'd been a slave. Fiona Richards said he was born at Kilpatrick near Dumbarton in Scotland.
That's where I was trying to think of.
Okay.
Yes.
Gareth says St Patrick was reckoned to be Welsh. There is a memorial stone at Winn, West Glamorgan, recalling his birth, so legend says.
Yes, well,
And
the Welsh always claim.
David Hicks has capped it all by saying it would have been so much easier if Patrick had remembered to start his sat-nav before setting it up. Nice one, David.
Nice one.
Well, I assume you mean sat-nav.
Right,
You
listen,
put
I've got to
Strava,
sing a
but-
song.
Yes, go for it. What are you going to sing?
I'll tell you what, I've sung Misty. Have I sung Misty? Yes, I have.
Yes,
what I'd
sure.
like to do is I'd like to sing Go Rest High.
Yes.
And this one,
It's for a very special lady who is feeling poorly at the moment with her second bout of pneumonia since Christmas. So, Anne Bynon, we love you lots.
yeah,
We are
don't put it on
sorry.
yet. I just want to...
We are so sorry that you've been so poorly.
You've been so... And the day I was meant to come and see
Yes,
you, I
Jonathan
got
was
ill.
poorly.
And then my
Jonathan was
burst has
poorly.
gone. But anybody knows
Yes.
about pain in back of knees, I can't... I've been hobbling
He's
for the
struggling.
last, weeks now.
Weeks, yeah.
And ever since I was up in Daventry. And the physiotherapist now says it's a... She said, what are you doing for the next 6 weeks? I said, why?
Fortunately, not very much.
She said, the really busy time is going to be in May. There are 5 gigs in May, which we'll tell you about later. But, that's what I've done. But anyway, that was my excuse, and I'm trying not to get in the car that much, driving as much as little as I can. But we're sorry to miss you, Anne and Melvin, and I hope we can get up there to see you as soon as we can when there's a day off.
We send you our love.
But you've asked for this one, and it's a song I loved when I was in Nashville. We went and recorded an album in Nashville, and it was just the guy on this played on Roy Orbison's slide steel guitar on his album. The same guys played on Tapestry, Carole King's first album, the bass player. He's as old as when I put him there. He was like this old crusty man sitting over a bass guitar like this, and it was a great experience. I have to say that you and I and Sue, we share this. We've travelled so much. I suppose it's why we don't travel so much when we go on holiday. Actually, the truth is, we don't want to go far places because we did all of our travelling. While everybody else was looking after the kids, we were doing you were looking after the kids. I was travelling, but sometimes you came with me. And you came to Nashville, and you had a great time, didn't you, saying, well...
I loved it. It was a fantastic experience.
Yeah.
And I'd never been in the recording studio with you before.
No, you've never done it, have you? Was it freaky?
It was actually quite interesting because I had some insights that they hadn't got. So I was able to give them some advice about how best to let you do your thing rather than try and control you.
Yes, because that was what they were trying to do, wasn't it?
That's
all
the
time?
key. Don't try and
control Veira. That's a big mistake. Here we go. Go Rest High. Very sad song. Big hit for, what was his name? Number 1 hit. Oh, you'll find out by the end of the song. Very sad song. I know your life on earth was trouble. Only you could know the pain. You weren't afraid to face the devil. You were no stranger to the rain. So go as high on that mountain. Son, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven shouting, love for the Father and the Son. Oh, how we cried the day you left us. We gathered round your grave to grieve. Wish I could see the angels' faces when they hear your sweet voice sing. So go rest high on that mountain. Son, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven a shouting, love for the Father and the Son. Oh, how we cried the day you left us, gathered round your grave to grieve. Wish I could see the angel faces when they hear your sweet voice sing. So go rest high on that mountain. Son, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven a shout, love for the Father and the Son. Love for the Father and the Son. Vince Gill.
Yes,
the
it was
number-
Vince Gill. Wrote it on the death of his brother.
Yeah, very moving. Saw him perform that
very
in the
moving.
Grand Ole Opry and Home of Country Music, and it was very, very moving. He was such a talented guitarist and a very high singer too, extraordinarily high. Number one hits going right the way, crossover music he did into charts as well. That was him. Sings with Amy now.
With his wife.
With his wife, exactly. Anyway, so we get to something that you touched on, and I quite like the idea of this. You talked about this tour that you did. Tell us about this. First of all, I want to find out about your wife, how you ended up with this beautiful lady. She is the most sensational woman. Her name is spelled M-A-I.
M-A-I.
And
Pronounced
she's
Mai.
from Tokyo?
She's from Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Yep.
And so she is as tiny as I am big. She's this tiny whisper of a thing. I always feel like I could pick her up in my right hand. She's so small. she's the most talented artist, engraver, but artist in general. She's done a lot of and all of the engravings for your book. Is that right?
That's right. Yes, she did all the illustrations for all the books. Yep. And I mean, she can turn her hand to virtually anything. But she was a set designer in Tokyo. And she came across to this country in 2000 because she came across with a Japanese production company who were doing a film about a taxi driving from Tokyo to London across Russia and all the places it came through, with a couple of famous actors and actresses in the car. And they were coming to the place where taxis were invented, which was a workshop just outside the gates of Lambeth Palace, funnily enough, in Lambeth.
Where you lived?
Where I lived.
People forgot that. That your daddy was
my dad was the bursar there.
bursar.
Yeah. This was after I'd left Lambeth, but and I was the production coordinator this end, and I had to get them because the taxi had to drive out of the Channel Tunnel and come along the old Roman road into London, across Tower Bridge, and go to this place in Lambeth and everything. So that's how I got to know my wife, Mai. And she came to live in London because London is where you come if you want to learn about theatre design, and she wanted to learn about theatre. She was a TV set designer. And we got together, and a friend of mine's father wanted to go on this one-man tour, doing a one-man show around the country houses of England. And he was a chap called Murray Watson, who's a very famous, he's not with us any longer, but he's a very famous face who you would recognise, even if you don't know his name. He was the brigadier in Darling Buds of May, and he was on television and stage all the time. Wonderful man. And he played the character, and the play was written by a chap called Hugh Massingbird, who was a wonderful, wonderful man. He was, I think, one of the nicest, funniest men I've ever known. He had a sort of air about him as though he was going to sort of hand you a tenner, say, here's a tenner, my lad, like some wonderful uncle. But he was also very funny and hugely talented, and he wrote he sort of reinvented obituaries for the Telegraph and made them fun and interesting to read rather than dry.
Are they fun? I don't know.
They are fun, yes. So there's books of them now, actually. They've come out as books. So he sort of, the sort of obituaries you get now in the papers are down to him, basically. But he was editor of Debrett's and all sorts of things. But anyway, he wrote this play from the diaries of a chap called James Leese Milne, who was the country house secretary for the National Trust between the sort of 40s, 50s and 60s, before the trust went over to the dark side. And he was responsible he was responsible for going round the country collecting country houses for the National Trust. And he tells the stories of all these wonderful eccentric aristocrats and people who he met. And they're wonderful, wonderful diaries. There's 12 volumes of them or something. But anyway, it was condensed down into a one-man show. And Mai, being a set designer, designed the set. And we travelled around the countryside, Mai doing the lighting and looking after the set, and me driving the van, basically, and doing the sound. And put on over 120 performances or something, raising money for charity. I think we raised over $500,000 for charity because they would give a black tie dinner at the same time. And we went round all the country houses of England, sort of Petworth and Burley and Glamis Castle up in Scotland and the Palace of Holyrood and Chatsworth, which was wonderful.
And you stayed in all those places?
We stayed in all those places, yes. There's a wonderful story of poor old Hugh at Petworth. He was put up in this wonderful four-poster bed in a huge bedroom. He woke up in the morning to find a whole troop of tourists gathered around the bed looking at him because he was in the public part of the house. And they'd opened it up without realising he was in there.
And you'll notice this is how they used to sleep back in the 14th century. Notice says, oh, he's moving.
It's moving. Yes, so...
that's fantastic,
That's the sort of thing that used to happen to us. It was
what
wonderful.
were you doing in that?
I was driving the van, basically, but I was also doing the sound.
So once again, you specialise in these kind of backroom
sort of
roles in television, and you worked for years with Terry Wogan.
Sort of one-offs. I like to be an individual, I think. Or at least that's what I seem to be good at, is doing these. But I mean, if I'd had a proper career in a bank or something, I'd never have done all these exciting things I've done. So
that desire, which has stuck with me, that story about you turning up at the bank and the woman saying, if you behave yourself and you're really good, in 5 years, you could be like me. Time to leave. That was
time to leave, yeah. And I'd never have done Terry Wogan or Lambeth Palace or touring the country houses of England and that
Or-
sort
or
of thing,
driving
or
Formula-
written my books, or driving Formula One cars. I'd never have done any of it.
I
I
can't see. Still.
I was no good at any of it, but it was a lot of fun. It was
Well,
great.
what were you best rated as a Formula One driver? This is. I'm not joking, by the way. Just look at me for a minute. This man here was a Formula One driver.
No, I wasn't Formula One. I was Formula Ford.
Formula
yes.
Ford.
No, I was aiming to get to
Yeah,
Formula One.
Formula
but
Ford. Yeah,
Formula
I
Ford.
hate to say this,
It's where you start. Is
but you
Formula
have to be very small to get. I knew a Formula Ford driver. You have to have very little narrow hips, don't you, to get it? I could never fit in a car.
Well, you would have done once.
Well.
I mean, I was young and lithe then. Life has not treated me well
How long
since then.
what did they say in Robin Hood? Remember that year when Robin Hood comes and sees after many years he's looking for maid. What is it?
He's looking for Maid Marian.
Maid Marian.
And she sends out her servant, who is not...
That's Kevin Costner.
Yes, she doesn't look very much like Maid Marian.
And
and
she
he looks at her
really
and goes,
not that.
the
not
years
that
have
good.
been
It's-
kind.
Well, there you
And
are.
that's what Sue always says to me. That's it. She says it's not. It's a face for radio. You know.
That's right. Yes. Oh, I've often been told that. Yes.
Well,
I have a
face for
terrific
radio.
face for radio.
Yeah, but you said you didn't. You said to me earlier on you didn't like radio. You don't like it.
No,
It's
well, I
BBC.
like listening to radio. I love radio, but I'm not good. I've never been good on the telephone, and I'm not good on radio because I'd like to be able to see the person I'm talking to.
Yeah.
So although television is actually much more scary or whatever, I'm better on it because I can see and react to the person I'm talking to. I've done a few radio interviews where I'm actually in the studio and you're talking to the presenter,
Yeah.
and that's much easier. That's much better. But doing it down the line on the phone or something, I'm hopeless at it. I just
It
clam
is
up.
hard. It is hard because you feel. What I always feel with radio is that, and I've done hundreds of them, and a Sunday morning or another thing, or Radio 2 or Radio 3 or Radio 4, whatever it is, and you're thinking, right, okay. And I have to because I know with radio, unless you're inspirational, it comes across as, and then I went to this,
Yeah.
and then I did that. So the voice has to be a little bit more kind of textured.
Yes.
And you have to undulate. You know, you can't be kind of a very flat.
No, you
landscape.
can't. You have to be expressive.
Yeah, all the time.
Which is quite difficult to do if you're not a natural actor.
Yeah. It is fun. Anyway, but you say so. Where were we? So you met Mai here, that your wife, going back.
Yes, I did. So we did this tour for 2 years. It was beautiful summers. I remember 2004, 2005. We did this tour and we got quite close. And then Mai went home to see her parents. And in Japan, she then couldn't get back into the country because they wouldn't renew her visa for whatever reason. And I remember her in tears on the phone saying, I can't come back or anything. And it was at that moment, you know what we men are like. It was that moment I thought, I can't lose her. You know, I'm not going to let this girl go. But I had absolutely no idea what to do because to get to Japan was at least £1,000 in those days, which I didn't have.
That's a lot of money, isn't
And
it?
then about 3 days before the final deadline, when she wouldn't be able to get back, whatever happened, one of the Japanese airlines called ANA brought its fares down to £300, obviously to get rid of some seats, unsold seats or whatever. And that I could afford. And that seemed to me like an absolute miracle because if that happened. So anyway, I went out to Japan, met her parents, met her grandparents.
Well, but that wasn't a smooth ride.
That wasn't. Her parents were a smooth ride because they're wonderful. They're terrifically great sense of humor. One of the things is that you always think Japanese people are inscrutable, but they have the most wonderful sense of humour, and that's one of the things that drew Mai and I together. Is very much the same sense of humour. But anyway, her grandparents, who were very traditional Japanese, did not approve of her marrying a gaijin, a foreigner, at all. So they refused to meet me when I first got there, but they eventually came upstairs because they all live in the same house, and sort of interviewed me. And he started asking questions. The grandfather started asking questions like, sort of, what sport do you like and things, trying to get into my character and things. And I was sitting in one place, and then there was the grandfather, and behind the grandfather was Mai's father. And he started miming all the sports that I should like a tennis or a golf something. And so I said, oh, yes, I play tennis. Oh, yes. Anything else? Well, yes, I like my golf. And by the end of it, we were absolutely bosom buddies and we were sharing sake together.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, I owe her father an awful lot. And they were so good because it can't have been a nice prospect, take their lovely daughter away.
No, I mean, how did that... How did that?
Well,
feel
they
to
they
her?
accepted because they knew that's what she wanted. She wanted to be happy. You know, we were in love, and you know, she actually probably sees more of them now than she did in those days. Because when she goes back, she stays for 2 or 3 weeks, and you know, they get to know each other again. And it's so easy to communicate nowadays and see each other over the phone, which is marvelous.
And when did you last go? Did you?
I last went about 5 years ago because I've been so busy since then that I really haven't had time. But I'm desperate to go back because it's the most wonderful country.
It is, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah.
So that was your I mean, I think what we'll have with that's on this. Why don't we have a little break for me, which is why don't we have
Video?
but why don't we have
Which one do you want?
the one that Rachel made?
Fields of Gold?
Oh, and the other one.
No.
The other one.
Oh, just around the bend.
Just around the bend.
We haven't had this for a long while. Let's go for just around the bend.
We get always a Facebook hit on this. Here we go.
Been a long time traveling down this hard and rocky road. We're all just trying to survive, walking together and sharing the load, doing all we can to stay alive. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. We may be weary, and sometimes we just don't know how we can keep on keeping on. Take one day at a time and trust that history will show. When we're united, we are strong. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. So take care of each other, for we all need the hope that heals, the love that mends. Even when the darkness is as far as we can see, the sun will shine again somewhere just around the bend. Of each other, for we all need the hope that heals, the love that mends. Even when the darkness is as far as we can see, the sun will shine again, I believe, just around the bend, just around the bend. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. Just around the bend.
doing that for a while. And as we said, it's all about the dog's ears, which is very nice. It's
a few people have written in.
Yes, a few people have written in. So can I just say thank you to Jerry, as ever, for just your contributions. So he says, Chris Winn is a mine of info with his books, Things You Never Did Know, about people and places, old and new famous faces. You should take them wherever you go. And then
very nice.
We've all grown, maybe filled out a bit, and in racing cars we'd have once fit. But as all of us find, life does not remain kind, and there's places we cannot now sit.
I like that.
Very good. Very good.
That's very nice. Jezza, thank you.
Very
You
good,
came to
as
the
ever.
Beautiful gig we did in Carshalton.
Yes, we had a
last
great
week.
time in Carshalton. I don't know if there's anyone watching from Carshalton, but we had a great time
We
on
had
Saturday.
a fantastic time.
It was great.
And it was a real multicultural evening
was
of
lovely.
everybody in the same room. Expressing their gratitude in different ways,
it was lovely.
clapping along, just enjoying
It was good
people
fun.
that we met, friends that we met, and people that were just coming in and wanting to chat. It was great. But I just did this show. I had no idea what I was going to do, as usual. Just got on with it, and we started with Swing Down Chariot,
which went really well. Went really well.
The song that we want to sing now, Sue,
is King of Kings, and this is specially for Dawn Porteous. Sarah, you've been very patient and you have mentioned it a few times. We thought we had done it before, but we obviously haven't, so I apologise for that. But this is especially for Dawn. Dawn, you've had surgery and it's a slow recovery. So with our love, Jonathan's now going to sing for you, Dawn.
From the album,
the album,
which was Life and
Life
Soul,
and
which
Soul.
was now recorded 25 years ago.
But still spiffy.
25 years ago, and it's a great album. If you haven't got it, then we've got some copies in the studio that we'd love to send out to you. £10 plus postage and packing. We'll get it out to you, and we're going to sing this song for you. And it's from the original, recorded by Dave Cook, the famous Dave Cook, and who played guitar and keyboard for Cliff Richard. And then he recorded this album with me, and it's a beautiful song. Here we go.
King of kings, majesty, God of heaven, living in me, gentle Savior, closest friend, strong deliverer, beginning and end, all within me cries out in praise, Your Majesty. I can but bow, I lay my all before you now. In royal robes I don't deserve, I live to serve Your Majesty. Earth and heaven worship you, love eternal, faithful and true, who bought the nation, ransomed souls, brought the sinner near to Your throne. All within me cries out in praise, Your Majesty. I can but bow, I lay my all before you now. In the royal robes I
not. A lot of people like that.
Well, they do, because that was written by Gerald Cooper. Jared Cooper. And that got me into America, apparently. And
It
I
did.
want to do another one. Can you put on Words in it? Thank you, that one. That's the one. From the same album. I just love this one. It's called Words Can Never Express, by an old boyfriend of yours, isn't that right?
Friend.
Okay, all right, friend. Well, you know it. Goes like this.
Words can never express the wonder of your love for me. Deeds can never repay the debt that I owe eternally. But I'll bring you the praise of a grateful heart. Sing of your glory and majesty. Lift up your voice on the Spirit's wings. You're alive. You're alive in me. Oh, in me. I may not understand the mystery of grace, rich and free. I could never explain the mercy that's reached down to me. But I'll bring you the praise of a grateful heart. Sing of your glory and majesty. Lift up my voice on the Spirit's wings. You're alive. You're alive. Yes, I'll bring you the praise of a grateful heart. Sing of your glory and majesty. Lift up my voice on the Spirit's wings. You're alive. You're alive in me. Yes, I'll bring you the praise of a grateful heart. Sing of your glory and majesty. Lift up my voice on the Spirit's wing. You're alive. You're alive. Yes, I'll bring you the praise of a grateful heart. Sing of your glory and majesty. Lift up my voice on the Spirit's wings. You're alive. You're alive in me.
I really like that song.
Yeah, that
It's
was
one of
great.
those songs where
Yeah,
quite
quite
an
a few.
exuberant little
Yeah, people have.
song of worship.
Yeah, people have really enjoyed it. Actually, they're writing in saying which album is this on, because it's. I think John Bound's right. I don't think you've ever done it in the
Have I
show
not?
in the Steinway room.
Well, in which case I'll do it again sometime.
Yes.
Because I think it's one of those. I think when we go away to Thornley, this is the one we're
Yeah,
going to
we'll
teach them
teach
this
it
one.
to them. Yeah.
And it's just, I think it's just a great little bit of. Often when we sing at church now, particularly in modern worship, they tend to be right. Everybody, the only thing they do is they say, "Please stand," and then for 40 minutes or so, those who are infirm are trying to stand and we can't stand, and they're doing the same song or two songs together, and they're usually at this pace. And they're usually in D. And that's the pace. So the exuberant song of praise, like praise my soul, the King of heaven, to his feet my tribute bring. It's really quite pacey. There are lots of songs that were quite triumphant, actually, and those songs have gone. We don't tend to sing, not in a lot of renewal churches, those songs. So when I heard this song by your friend Jeff Brady, we met him. Do you remember? We did.
We did. We met him. We went and did a concert at his church, I think.
Yeah, it is. So, from your point of view, now you've written all these books that people can get. Where can they get them? By the way,
Anywhere. All good bookshops. All good bookshops. Online, Amazon, absolutely anywhere that books
just
are
name
sold.
the titles again. Can you remind? Go through those. So I never knew that about.
Well, I never knew that about England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, the English, the Irish, the Scottish, London, New York, the River Thames. There's a quiz book.
A quiz book.
Yep.
Christmas. You've done a Christmas
we've done
one?
Christmas.
That wasn't an I never knew that.
Oh, right,
that was
okay.
a one-off.
That was,
but it was
I
sort
found
of
all
similar.
about
It was
tinsel.
all unusual facts about Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah, tinsel. It's
which was
French.
fun.
I didn't know that. There you go.
Yeah. Now you've got me now.
Well,
Where
the
have I
last
got to?
three.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, I
well, you got
got
22,
two.
but
Yeah.
you've done. But that incorporates most of it. You've done. Have you done Cornwall?
No, I've done Yorkshire and the Lake District.
And the coast.
Two others.
Yorkshire
and
District.
and the English coast.
English
There we are.
coast
That's
of England.
15.
Phew, well done.
Okay, see, I knew.
Yeah. The thing is, I have the most rotten memory, which is why I have to write all these things down.
But do you find them when you travel? Do you find them from local sources, or do you find them? Because I mean, the Google is one way of finding out certain facts.
Well,
but you kind of rely on that, can't you? You can't always.
You
rely
can't
on that.
rely on Wikipedia and things like that. But
No.
what Google and Wikipedia and things are good at is giving you a sort of structure.
Yes.
That, okay, there's this and this there. And then you actually go there and learn the real facts. You know, either go to a museum or
Yes.
a pub or walk around or you see the plaques that are next to places and talk to the real
local
people,
people.
to local people.
And you find them generally in pubs, don't you? And
You
they-
do
they-
generally
they
find,
are-
yeah,
they're
or
propping up the bar
quite a lot
or-
in churches. You know, sort of
Yeah.
church wardens sitting
Yes.
there who know the whole history of the village or the
Yes.
church or whatever.
Yes.
There's nothing like actually going there because you can tell in the writing actually if you haven't been to a place.
You've been to Fordingbridge, haven't you?
Yes, I have been to Fordingbridge.
And you wrote about Fordingbridge, didn't you?
Possibly.
I think you did.
But-
Because the Bynans, who
Yeah.
he was, I don't think he was not church warden, was he?
Oh.
But we went and did a concert in this church. Which
Oh, it's a lovely church there. Yes,
Stunning.
absolutely.
You know, drop down the steps
Yes.
into the main body of the church.
Oh.
And it's a stunning church.
That
I
is the
seem
most
to
stunning church. It's a lovely little
Yeah.
town
Yeah, it
or
is.
village,
Well,
really.
It's a town.
Town-
Right
it's
on
probably
the
a town,
outskirts
isn't
of the New Forest.
The Forest, absolutely, yes. Because quite near where my sister lives in Dorset, Wimborne Minster.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
go that way sometimes when I'm going down there.
Yes,
see
well,
her.
that's one of the places I think that you wrote about in the book.
Yeah,
And it's a fascinating town.
it is a fascinating little town.
But a little bit dying on its feet in terms of age demographic. you know.
Well, so many of them are nowadays, aren't
Yeah.
they? But we do have some glorious little towns in this, rather overlooked
Fair Isle.
places in this, which is what I love. I love places that are not known and come as a nice surprise.
Yes,
And Fordingbridge is sort of one of those.
it is because we didn't know about it until, and bless them, they invited us back to stay with them because we stayed with them for the concert, and they have this beautiful little room that they let out, and we stayed, and it was during the summer. Was it summertime? And they've got two fabulous dogs, like yours, massive. These massive dogs. They are, aren't they? The most.
The boisterous boys.
What are they called? They're
Oh, can't remember.
no,
now.
they're onomatopoeic, aren't they?
Yes, they're
they're
great.
like explosion
Yes.
and destruction, something like that.
It's wonderful.
And they come to it, and it's just they are so exuberant. But lovely house in this, but flooding all the time. It's a
Oh,
kind
yes.
of it's been but stunning places. But New Forest again, we didn't really know. We don't really know the New Forest.
Oh, it's glorious.
Properly.
It's
Properly.
glorious.
Well,
Yeah.
again, it's the kind of place that you often drive through to get to somewhere else. It's the sort of coming off and exploring that's the important thing.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I mean that when you chose to go on your trips, how did you make the choices? Where did you choose to stop? I mean, the Thames. It's obvious you start at the
Yes.
source, or
And
that's
those-
debatable.
Like New York, those places that are linear and nice and easy. But again, it's just lots of research to start with. So you come up with lots of places you want to go to. And then once you get to one place, it leads you to another and leads you to another.
Yeah.
And so that's how you do it.
Yeah.
So you sort of crisscross.
So that's what you're doing. So is there a determined?
I mean, when we did Scotland, we bought a people carrier, which we slept in.
Yes.
But basically, we followed the weather. If it was nice weather over on the east, we'd go over to the east and do everything there. And if it was nice weather on the west, we'd come back to the west. And it was glorious. So we hardly ever saw rain.
Because
It
you just kept following the weather.
because we just kept following the weather. And we got round all of Scotland that way. And it was the most glorious trip I've ever done. I mean, Scotland is the most glorious
Well,
country.
it's just. I think what do they call it? They call it a foreign country, and it is.
It
truly
is.
I
And
mean,
you can be further away from civilization or the world in Scotland than anywhere else.
I think so.
Even in the Arctic or
yeah,
something like
I
that.
think so. We've gone right up to the very top on the east and right up the
Yeah.
top on the left.
That's
and
right.
we've gone to, we've worked at so many different places in Scotland. And in fact, doesn't that lead us nicely into some
notices?
adverts?
Okay, let's go for
And
the notices.
Let's
Is
do
that all right,
shall we?
Rachel? Can we move to the notices? Is that going to cause
'Cause
problems?
that will talk about Scotland.
So yes, we've got some exciting trips coming up. As we mentioned, Jonathan isn't doing anything now until the 19th of April, which is good because he actually has to get his knee better before we're at Camberley on the 19th of April.
Lovely
And
church,
then
of course.
May, we are very busy. 4th of May, on the Saturday the 4th of May, we're up at All Saints Church in Gainsborough. And then we travel up to Scotland and we do 3 concerts up there now. We've organised. So Cowdenbeath on Saturday the 18th. 24th, which is a Friday, will be at Perth, the Tayside Fellowship. And then on the 25th, we will be crowning it all with the South Beach Baptist Church in Saltcoats. Back for a rest in June. And then on the 29th, we're at All Saints Laleham, which is coincidentally where Jonathan and I got married 41 years ago. So looking forward to it.
Which you talked about.
Yes, you talked about in your book.
I did talk about Laleham.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
All
it's a
Saints.
lovely church, and we're so looking forward to joining Al Duncan and everyone else in All
Who should be
Saints
watching.
Laleham.
And I'm going to play a little
You're going to
song
afterwards
there.
in a minute. August, we are up to Thornley Hotel again for a week, the 17th to the 24th. We've called it a JV Music Week, but I think it's probably going to be so much more than that. We will teach you a few songs, but lots of
Right,
lovely
wonderful.
things that Jonathan has planned to talk about. So looking forward to seeing everyone then. September, we've got a definite on the 21st, which is in Aintree, but also
We've got 2 others.
another one, 14th, has just arrived. I haven't had a chance to get it into the diary online yet, but the 14th we will be back at Shotbury. No, is it Shotbury near Stratford-on-Avon?
Stratford-on-Avon. Beautiful
Beautiful
place,
church, lovely people.
And possibly in Scotland.
Yeah, we need to talk to them about that.
one.
So October, we've got a definite on the 26th in Stoneleigh, but I think there's another date again. And we have, of course, got November, the 23rd, I think it is. We're going to be with Mark Borisoff in his church there and in a couple of other places in the Christmas season. So
We don't know the other two.
I haven't got them on the list here.
And another place too that's talking about wanting to have us back in from last week.
Yes, from Carshalton, hopefully. So if you have a question and you wish to ask me something, I'm on sue@jonathanveira.com. If you want to know where any of these concerts are and what the ticket prices are and how to find them, etc., then that is jonathanveira.com. So that's where you'll find everything that you need to know about anything to do with Jonathan. We are updating that, so we'll let you know when we have our new website up and running. But for the moment, that is jonathanveira.com. And don't forget, we have some... where are we going? Oh yes, some Steinway dates. We know we're definitely around for next week, and then I think we have got dates in April. We are doing most of them in April. I think we won't be doing Easter Sunday, but we will be doing most of them in April. May will be a bit thin on the ground, but we will find some way of doing things. And don't forget to subscribe to YouTube. We know that many of you have done so, and it makes a big difference if you do subscribe. So please, if you haven't already subscribed, click on subscribe. Do it tonight.
Do it
It
now.
doesn't cost you a penny. It doesn't cost you a penny, but it makes a big difference to us if we have a good number of subscribers. So if you haven't done it, please do. You just have to give your email address. You'll be notified of anything that we put on there, but it just makes life a little bit more fun for Rachel because she gets more... I don't understand these things, but she gets more interesting things to do with our site. So for Rachel's sake, as well as ours, then click on subscribe. Just click on subscribe. That's the way to do it. And if you haven't already joined our Facebook group, you need to do that. It's the jvlive.uk, and then it's JV Facebook group, JV Community Facebook group. You will be asked 3 questions. Please answer them.
Please do.
2 questions.
You're not answering stuff.
If you don't answer them, then we don't know who you are. So if you answer them, then we know that you are real people, you're not pretend people, and that you are there for a good reason. It is a wonderful group of people, and it's great for just sharing your thoughts, sharing your fun things, sharing your jokes, sharing things that you want people to be praying for you or caring for you about. So it's a safe place, it's a kind place, and it's a place where you will want to be to talk to other people. So come and join our JV Community Facebook group. And last but not least, Got a Friend Trust.
Yes. Do you want to on? And Got a Friend Trust, and we always say it, but we want to just reiterate this. we've had so many people contributing to this. Whether you contribute on line on a regular basis or a one-off gift, this is where to do it. You can contact Adrian Pinnock. You can give money, and the thing is that you can ask for help. Now, so many of you don't want to ask for help. I want you to be able to ask for help, because when we need help, it's a sign of humility, really. If you need it, now we can't pay your mortgage, we can't get you out of fundamental debt problems. That's for things like CAP, and you may need that. And if that's the case, come to us, talk to us, and we will direct you towards that organisation, to another organisation that will be able to help you, to CAB or anywhere else. But what if you need something like a washing machine, a pram, some baby stuff, anything? I'm not a grand piano. We're not buying you a grand piano. That's not going to happen. But if you need things, if you need something right now, that need has come to mind, then contact Adrian direct, or contact me or Sue, and we will put you in touch. They'll ask you some questions to try and validate it, because they have a responsibility to the people that give the money. They're not just going to hand over cash. That's not how it works. And just in case you think that's how it works, that's not how it works. There are a group of 4 people, trustees, who I've appointed to make sure that those people do the right thing and get the money in the way that it's meant to be. Or they'll send you vouchers if you want some food vouchers or something like that. And if it's for food, then ask for food. Ask for food vouchers. We'll send you food vouchers. Don't be embarrassed or frightened. We all have needs. Sue and I have been there. I'm sure we'll be there again. And so actually that's what the charity exists to do. Got a friend trust. Got a friend trust. You can sit up there. Please do it. Contribute or ask. Let's get that doing. I want to just show you a little video. The guy who we're going to the church of when we got married, he's been a friend now. Al has been a member of the community since the beginning. And in fact, I'm going to say he's the one that got us over the line in the crowdfunding in the very first album. He got us over the line with a massive gift.
And he's been very kind. He's been
Always
very
to
kind,
us,
always.
helped us.
And he and his wife came round for supper once.
Organised our house.
And he suddenly said, he said, I'll come and decorate your lounge for you. And we went, no, you can't do that. And his wife just said, let him do it. He likes these things. So
And he does, and he's
bless him.
brilliant.
He's done
and
a great
so
job.
Fantastic. And
He's done a great job.
In fact, he's coming to do my sewer pipes, so it's great. But he's also an extraordinarily talented man.
He is.
And his son built sheds for me and did garden stuff for me. And he is a lovely pianist, and this is what he played for you.
That was lovely. That was really lovely.
That's lovely. Thanks, Al.
Thank you, Al.
What a talent you are. And he's putting on this. So Laleham, she's quite local to us here. It's about 40 minutes away.
Yeah. So come and
it's a
join us on the
beautiful church,
29th of
and
June.
we will celebrate the fact that we got married there nearly 42 years ago. I said, I do. And Sue said, not likely. And as far as obeying is concerned, she has not done any of that. Not
I
at
said
all.
I'd do it, but
You won't. Anyway, so I think from my point of view, what we need to know is we do need to know that you are doing something else. Where else can we get you? Because you're doing a podcast, aren't you?
I'm doing a couple of podcasts. I do my own podcast, Christopher Winn's I Never Knew That, which tells stories from the books, the I Never Knew That books, with sort of sound effects and music in the background, make a sort of playlet of it.
You make that your own?
I do that myself. Yeah, I do that all myself. I love editing podcasts and things.
So I've not picked up. Why haven't I picked up on this? I must do that.
Let's do it.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
So
I've
could you
done
tell us
about-
how to pick it up? How to pick it up?
Well, anywhere. You just type in Christopher Winn's I Never Knew That on Spotify or Apple or wherever you get your podcasts. But I've stopped doing that for the moment because it's extraordinarily time consuming and I need to actually make a living as well. But I want to do
Does it
more
pay
of those.
anything?
Not at the moment. I'm trying to learn how to make it pay something. But I'm doing another podcast too called That Wilbur Smith Show, which is all about the adventure writer Wilbur Smith and his world, which is quite fun. We have on people. He wrote historical novels, historical adventure novels, and he set the novels against historical events and things. And
He was very.
he was hugely popular. I think he was the best-selling writer in the world in the 90s. Or something.
Really?
But we have on guests who know about the historic events that he sets his novels to. So we have experts on the East Indian slave trade or Southern Africa or the Zulu Wars or all sorts of different things, or the Zambezi River, the rivers of Africa, ancient Egypt. We have a couple of Egyptologists on things, just talking about the background
So
to
what
his
do you
books.
do like this? 2 hours
Yeah,
of chatter?
well, it's about an hour. Yeah, little under an hour. Just chatting. So we get together on sort of Zoom type platform where we can all see each other.
Yes.
But it's just the audio that goes out.
Yes.
And just chat about the various subjects that we're brought them on to chat, and it's great fun.
It's good just chatting, isn't it?
It is good just.
I like this.
Yes, and you
Because
go unexpected places. You
Yeah,
never quite
yeah.
know where you're going to go.
You suddenly find out all about your poop
Yeah,
deck,
yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
which entertains me. So if you had some people writing in, people that he knew.
Yes, I think they were on YouTube. Actually, was it?
was it?
Oh yes, Belinda and Christine.
We were talking about Wales, weren't we?
Yes,
And
so-
these are a couple of wonderful Welsh girls who I've known for a long, long time. So there's Belinda Shallcross, who's now living in Oregon,
Yes.
in America,
Very
and
exciting to
her
have
sister
someone from
Christine, who's
Oregon
still in
watching.
Wales. So if I might just give them a shout out.
Yes, yeah,
And
absolutely.
hello,
Go for
and
it.
thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you.
And I promise you I'm not going to sing.
Oh right. What did you in the past then?
Well, I might have done. Might have broken into song occasionally, much to people's chagrin.
Oh right. What would you have sung?
Oh, anything. I always loved the picture paints if a picture paints 1,000 words, then why can't I?
I can't-
Picture
why
paints
paints
1,000 words, then why can't I paint you? The words would never show the you I've come to know. If
Then could be 2 places.
that's
Then
right.
why can't I launch you?
That's right. I'm sorry, I promised I wouldn't. Was that David Gates?
And when at last my thought is if a man could
Be two places at one time, I'd be with you forever and today.
beside
You all the way.
and then my love none doth but burn dry, and you
And I would simply fly
For the fourth away from the front, Mr. Chris Winn singing If.
Oh, that's another career down the tube.
You cannot now say.
fun.
You can't now say. I was a singer. Okay.
No, I can't.
All right.
No,
just
no,
just
I
so
could never
that, so that we're clear. Now I was going to sing. A song which Jesus loves me. This I know.
Can I just dedicate this to a couple of people?
Have you got any
So-
more people to dedicate? That's it.
No, I've just sort of decided I wanted to dedicate this one. So, yes, I'd just like to dedicate this to, first of all, to Sue Partridge. Sue, your dad has been in a home since we met, actually, up in Thornley. And And I know it's been hard for you, but it's been very hard. The last 11 days, he's managed to lose 3 hearing aids. That's remarkable and
You've
very
managed 3 as
distressing.
well over months,
I
but-
know we've managed to do that, but actually over a period of time. But 3 in 11 days is frustrating beyond. So I understand how difficult that can be. So we just want to say we're thinking of you, but also for dear Sam, who is John Bound's brother.
Yes.
We got to know Sam when we went up to stay with the lovely John and Margaret.
Fascinating man.
And he's been very poorly, but he has improved this week, and he was at lunch with them today.
He wasn't listening. He's not listening
I
now.
don't think so, but John has been listening. So do give Sam our love, and also for you and Margaret for your wedding anniversary on Wednesday. I think you said it was.
Fantastic. He's 80 years old, is this man,
is.
John Bound. He used to be a chief superintendent, and he wrote a book called To Serve and Protect, To Protect and Serve. And he's been an active member of the community. He's active all the time. Lives on this beautiful 137-acre farm, 14th century barn. Stunning, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, anyway.
Place.
But he's a train that just keeps going. Fell and broke his ribs recently. But he's an inspiration to all of us on the community. And I'm going to do this one. Let's have this one, Rachel. This I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones, they have been long, they are weak, but He is strong. Yes, Jesus loves me. Loves me, He will stay close beside me all the way. He will wash away my sin. Let this little child come in. Yes, Jesus loves me, yeah. Jesus loves me, yeah. Jesus loves me, for the Bible Yes, he loves me. For the Bible tells me so. For the Bible tells me so. You sing that in Sunday school. I know that Sam, actually, who was a great preacher, Methodist preacher, would go around. I never understood a word he said. Not from the time we went in. He talked about these and thous. He sat there in his lunch, and I didn't know that he talked. Then he would make us laugh, and he then would sing. He would sing his heart out to the Methodist hymn, but he would, thou art thou. They'd come in, and they'd say thee and thou, and that would be that. And Sue would come out at the end of it after 3 hours. She said, "What did you just say?" And he was the nicest man, him and his brother, John. So we send big love out to you. It's now 5 to 10. The last word from you. It's lovely to have you back, Christopher.
Well, it's lovely to be here.
And it's always lovely having you. You're always an open guest, an open door here for you. And because you're a nice man. And the thing about him, and let me just say, he is the man he says on the cover. There's nothing hidden about him. He's just a lovely
Natural man.
Natural Englishman. I am an Englishman, in the words of the Gilbert and Sullivan. There we are, and to be proud of that.
I am proud of it.
You certainly are. And we didn't get to cover half the things I was going to talk about.
It's
Mobile
all right.
phones and
It's
all
all
that.
right.
We've got another time.
I'm sure we've got another show in there somewhere, if
I'll
not
be
another
back.
6.
I'll be back.
You will be back. And remember, I want your wife in with you as well.
Indeed.
I want to show her her etchings and talk about her work, actually. And I was supposed to be coming in to play, just to be with her. Anyway, as we finish, let's put the track on, shall we? Should we do the track? It's got 4 minutes. So why don't I just play it? Why don't I play it?
Just play it.
We'll play it out. And it'll be Go Peaceful in Gentleness. And as you're going this week, go online and find Chris's books. Buy them. He needs the money. He does indeed.
I do.
They do. He does indeed. Authors don't get a lot of money unless they sell books. It doesn't really happen by magic. And if you feel like you want to be, because he is generous with his time and his money, he's a lovely guy. If you want to just contribute to him, then and to what he's doing, because he doesn't get paid a lot for it, then just send it to us and we'll send it on to him. If you'd just like to forward it to our account, then we'll take 50% off the top and then leave him with whatever's. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I am.
I'll take it.
So please do, and it will be really a blessing to him. We don't ask for much, but to bless the people we call in to be our guests, to be your guests, and it's been a lovely evening. Go peaceful in gentleness through the violence of these days. Give freely, show tenderness in all your ways. Through darkness, in troubled times, let holiness be your aim. Seek wisdom, let faithfulness burn like a flame. God speed you, God lead you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known, my love. And as we end the week with this blessing, I just send it out to my mum, who was 91 just 2 days ago.
She was.
And an
Good old
incredible
mum.
woman she is too.
She is extraordinary.
We went out, took her out for a meal down
We
to
did.
Bolter's Lock.
We did.
My sister arranged that, and she had all her children around her and their partners. And I wish her the best for this week. Mum
Yeah.
always is a very simple. She had a simple faith in God that She's very grateful for everything she gets, and we try and honour her. We'll see you tomorrow, Mum, and bless you this coming year.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace and give you his peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace and give you his peace.
We'll see you next week. Same time, same channel.
That we will.
We look forward to seeing you. Have a good week.
Have a good
and
week.
Bless you, Carol Wordsworth, who's had a bit of a week.
Yeah.
And so many of you we haven't mentioned. But bless you and see you next week.
Gareth, I hope tomorrow goes well. You're taking a very difficult funeral, so we'll be thinking of you tomorrow. And all that family there. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a good week. Love you lots. And keep in contact. See you next week. Bye.
Only 1 minute and 10 seconds over the time. Bye-bye. Say bye,
Goodbye.
Chris.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.